everybody's gonna do, bro.
May the Most High reward you according to your doings, man.
Yeah, bro. He gonna get it, bro.
Yeah.
Because the spirit is flowing, man.
Yep.
I don't know who he throwing that pin at.
Yeah, he don't know. But see, what our people don't understand is that these Edomites understood who we were, and they still did wickedness to us.
That's right.
That's
Okay?
right. That's right.
So, in fact, we're going to go ahead and continue on with that whole Cush thing. Now, the Cush and the aspect of what this thing was talking about. Let's go to Daniel, the 1st chapter. Okay? And let's see who was given, let's see who that was, because that was in Babylon. And these people are saying that we're the Cushites, right? But somehow, some way, you will never admit that Nebuchadnezzar, one was a so-called dark-skinned man, black man, which would be an Ethiopian today.
Yeah.
Two, you're not even gonna say and continue on your lie by saying that we're also descendants of the same people.
Right.
That's how you know when your lie is weak, when you can't even continue it past even a simple question.
Yep. Right.
Can you answer this question? So that means that they were the Babylonians, right? No. Okay, but they're Cushites, right? Yes. No, see, now you done got yourself, you messed up, man.
you
gotta go back to the drawing board, man. Now you gotta reclassify which nation, because see now, what happens is this, when they go into the table of nations, if he says we're not Cushites, now you gotta actually say, are we Mizraim? Are we Foot? Are we Canaan?
Yeah.
And now you got yourself in other conundrums. Now the brother had already brought out the definition of not the Negroes. Now what he said is true. He said it doesn't outright say that we're of the line of Shem. Well, why is that? Because the people that wrote the archaeology book wanted it to put it on the minds of the people that can read between the lines.
Yeah.
See, when you a lot of you lower level Edomites, when y'all read books, y'all don't get the hidden messages behind some of these books.
Yeah.
The hidden message of that definition was to let the elites know, and the people among them, to let them know that us people that are known as Negroes in America are Israelites. That we're not Hamites. That was the whole reason. They were going to put 2 and 2 together. The smart ones, which you're obviously not amongst the elite, but the smart ones, they can read between the lines and say, you know what that means, son?
That's right.
That means that they're Israelites.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we got to put our foot on their neck. That's the reason why we got to put drugs in their communities. That's the reason why we make sure that they worship many gods. You know? They break that down to their own elite sons, not you. So go ahead, I'll start at the top. Yeah.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Okay, so this is Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Judah is Jehoiakim at this point, right? So you're saying this, the so-called, now let's put a picture in our minds, Jehoiakim to this man is so-called Jew. He's an Amalekite. Let's say he's Benjamin not a Jew. So Jehoiakim looks like Benjamin not a Jew, right? And Nebuchadnezzar, who's of the line of Cush, which you're saying that we're Cushites now. Let's just say he looks like Denzel Washington. And let's see if you could say that this happened according to your logic we're using. We're gonna put that logic in there. We got Jehoiakim who's being played by Benjamin not a Jew, and we got Nebuchadnezzar being played by Denzel Washington. Now let's see what Denzel Washington and the people and the so-called black people that you say are Cushites did to Jehoiakim and the so-called Israelis over there in the land. Go ahead, Art.
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem.
Okay, he came unto Jerusalem. So here it is, a whole bunch of Negroes, as you call us, that look like the so-called black people here in America, came to Jerusalem, and what they do, Ak?
And besieged it.
And what they do?
And the Most High gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand.
So you're saying that right now you're willing to admit that the so-called Jews were put into captivity by the so-called black people you see today in America dunking basketballs and running touchdowns.
That don't make no sense.
That's what you're saying, right?
They don't want.
Keep going, bro.
They don't want to notice that.
With part of the vessels of the house of the Most High, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God.
That's right.
And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God.
You can stop there. So you're saying now that not only did he do that, but then he actually took all the good gold and silverware, brass and all that stuff, and brought it all the way to Babylon, which we already proved, okay, was a city of Cush, which you say that we're Cushites. Now, does that make any sense to you?
None
Now,
at all.
would you admit that? No, you wouldn't, because I know you. We know you Edomites. you Edomites always move the goalposts because your lies are very easy to chop down with the scriptures.
Yeah.
With the Spirit of the Lord, it's very easy to chop down scriptures. No?
That's what they do,
It's
man.
very
They moving the goalposts every time,
Yeah,
man.
because their lies is very easy to disprove. Because for so long, I've never heard an Edomite say that they were Cushites. I've never heard that. I've heard that we're everything else. I've heard that we're Hamite. We have the curse of Ham. But then when you ask them, they never said which son of Ham they think we are.
Yeah.
But when they go down the line, they realize that if we said we're any one of these, there's actual historical proof that these people had empires. When you say that we're Mizraim or Egyptians, oh, you're cut. Because now you got to admit that all this lies that you've been pushing out about who they are, that you just say that we're those people, which we always tell our people we're not those people. Because a lot of our people desire to be them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you're not going to give them that bone. Because, you don't want to give them that bone. So we're going to move on to foot. Libyans. Now, you're not going to say that we're the North Africans, the native peoples of North Africa, the Tuareg people, the so-called Libyans. You're not going to say that, because then you'd have to say that, damn, that means we're really not really black.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you can't go there. So now you got to say, well, look, okay, let's say we're Canaan.
He's stuck, man. They stuck.
Now, if they go to the curse of Canaan, you can't go there, because now you got to admit that not only that, you have to admit that at one point that the people that look like us or that are us owned the land for thousands of years before Israel took over.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you also have to admit that the Prince Tyre, who was in league with Solomon, had all the merchant power with the boats and ships.
Yeah.
Which you don't want to admit that anyway.
Right.
Then you'd have to now, even further on, you have to admit that the Phoenicians, which in your own history, which you wrote, you admit that the Phoenicians are Canaanites.
Yep.
Then now, if you do that, you'd have to admit that we're the Phoenicians who had the vast Mediterranean trade network in the Mediterranean, North Africa, and Europe. You won't do that. So now you actually eliminated everything else. Now you fall down to Cush, and now you're going to say that this event happened, was those two different people. Because if we're Cushites and Nebuchadnezzar and the people that were ruling were Cushites, and the people that was the king of Judah from Jehoiakim, and his people were the Israelis that's in the land, you now have to say that we actually at one point had those people conquered.
That's right.
Which the one thing in Edomite supremacy is one thing in Edomite supremacy you never do. You never admit that so-called black people had so-called white people in captivity.
You're right.
That is a rule of Edomite supremacy.
Yeah,
right.
you can't mention it, man.
Not at all.
So now you can't admit this. So now you cut. You stuck. You ain't got nowhere to go. You cut, Esau. You just give it up, man. You might as well just choose a man of your choice of who you want to take you into captivity, or really just die when all hell breaks loose. Because really the elites of Edom are the ones that's really going to be saved, man.
Yeah.
The same guy, Donald Trump, you probably voted for, he going to make it.
He gonna make it.
Him and his family going to more than likely make it, man. You ain't. That's how bad you got it. He actually going to see the kingdom. A lot of these elites, they're going to see the kingdom.
Yeah.
Now they ain't going to inherit the kingdom. That's for Israel. Which is
I'm sure a lot of brothers in Israel done put claims on
Yeah.
you, whoever made that documentary.
Oh yeah.
They're like, if you make it, they want you, bro.
Boy, that's gonna be a bad time for you, cat.
Okay? So keep going on that, because see, we're trying to play this play-by-play in this guy's head. Now Nebuchadnezzar then came to Jerusalem, took down Jehoiakim, took all the earthen vessels, took everything, all the gold, all the silver out of the temple, right? Keep going. Let's see what happened after that.
Verse 3, and the king spake unto Aspenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as he ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
So you're saying that what happened as well is that after that, that y'all were actually taught the language of the Chaldeans by us. So we actually broke down and took your children and reformed them, gave them new names, and basically did that, right? But guess what? These same people will say that we didn't write no books, we ain't got no manuscripts, we have no written history. Which when you go into you damn Edomites, when you took over, you burned our books.
Burned them all,
That's one of the first things you do when you take over from our people. You burn our history.
Yep. And
then you change the images as well.
Yep.
Go get me first. You heard about doing one. Get me the Sirach, huh? The master of disguise. You Edomites are the master of disguise. We are letting you know right now that y'all are Edomites, man.
Yeah.
We're just letting you know. And a lot of you know it, man. You see, some of you that see, one thing about this thing is that truth is truth. It only can be accepted, you know, in its totality by Israel, man.
Yep.
It ain't gonna be accepted by you, man. It ain't gonna be accepted. You got a comment on?
I mean, you know, it's amazing, man.
Yes, sir.
That these guys always try to be on top of the totem pole, man. But then every time you try to come with your little craftiness, man, it's putting you into a deeper hole, man.
Yeah, because you got yourself in a very deep hole by even saying that we're Cushites.
That's right.
And you established that lie, dude, because you needed to establish everything else that we're not. That's what you did to fool those people.
Which First Maccabees?
Yeah, First Maccabees.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, 3 and 48, right?
Yeah, 3 and 48.
This is First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
This is the reason why you Edomites, I like to call y'all the master of disguise, man. Y'all are the master of disguise, because nobody on the planet except for the people that have been receiving the knowledge and your elites and some of these other nations' elites know that y'all are the Edomites.
Right.
But what you've done is when you go and you take over everybody else, you go and you make yourself those other nations, even changing their gods.
Right.
Because even when y'all came into Europe and started calling yourselves Macedonians and Greeks, you did the same thing with the gods of those nations too.
Yeah.
Because all those gods, Hercules and all those different Zeuses, those are all Canaanite deities. And when they painted them looking like Canaanites, all right, which would be so-called black people that are not of the line of Shem.
Right.
Which tend to reside in western and southern Africa, all right, which were also prophesied to trade the children of Israel to you Edomites. That's in the book of Amos, chapter 1. Okay? Right. So, and you don't want to admit, you don't even want to at least give them credit for creating the Phoenician Empire. You don't want to give them credit for basically being the ones that brought those different Phoenician gods that you worship, including Europa.
Right.
You devils call yourselves Europeans,
yeah.
but Europa was a goddess of the Zidonians, who are Canaanites out of the land of Ham. So you guys are in a whole heap of trouble, man.
If they the true Canaanites.
Let's cutting them, bro.
Hey, it's like they keep coming into a little circle, man. It's like, I get them on this way. Boop, you coming right back to it,
tell
bro.
one lie, you got to keep telling the lie.
Yeah. And the lies is being exposed, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Esau's skirt has always been, you know, it's been revealed, but when these guys came out with this stuff, man,
now it's gonna be all revealed.
It's gonna be all revealed.
Now,
man.
the brother said, it was a spirit, because as the week was going, I was like, man, I want to do a thing on Esau and Amalek.
Yeah.
Now we're just ready to go start with something called Christian Zionism. Which is a big piece of Christianity today.
Yeah.
Which establishes to the average everyday Christian that the people over there in the land of Israel are the real Israelites and they need to be protected. That's the reason why there's an uproar about Obama passing that thing amongst so-called Christians. Amongst a lot of Trump supporters. Which the funny thing about Trump supporters talk down on the so-called Jews.
Right.
They say that they're bankers running everything. But then when it comes to protecting them, y'all quick to do that.
Yeah. That's a double-mindedness.
Double-mindedness, man. You Edomites, man, are confused. You don't know what the hell's going on. The only one who know what's going on is your elites, and even they are being confounded as we speak.
Right. Because see, all their plans, like we was talking about earlier this week. Hey man, they wasn't banking on Putin, man, throwing that monkey wrench into their plans, man.
I don't believe they were.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no way they were banking on it, because what he's doing cannot have been part of their plans.
No.
Right, right.
Because the easiest way to have set up the New World Order would be for them to continue on with what Bush had started in 2003 with the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right.
And to basically take over the Middle East and take down Iran.
Yeah,
And then establish the New World Order. That's what all they needed to do. Why do you think they set up the largest embassy in the whole planet in Baghdad?
Right.
Why do you think they brought so many military weapons? When you examine the two countries that they invaded back in 2003, those two countries are sandwiching Iran.
Right.
The other side of Iran to the east is Afghanistan, to the west is Iraq. What do you think their plan was doing? They wanted to do a